Hello everyone, my name is Whitney, also known as Wisdom Wit. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel. Just wanted to come on and speak a little bit about something I know that a lot of us can relate to. As a little girl, as I've stated in previous videos, I came up, I didn't really have much. I was going through situations where there was lack, there was just a lot of things that a child shouldn't experience at that age, basically. But one thing that really stuck out to me in my younger years is when you grow up in certain situations, you look around at what you have, what you don't have, and then you may see someone that may have more than you, more material things, more money. They may be in a better situation. Their household may seem to be better than what you currently have. And as a young child, I always just looked up to that. I always put it on a pedestal. I always looked at those people as if they were better than me. But as you grow up over the years, you realize that material doesn't matter. A lot of the times we look at what people have, their money, their material values, the cars, the clothes, the houses. None of it really truly matters. A lot of the times people may have an abundant amount of resources, material things, but that doesn't mean that they're good. Or I should say that doesn't mean that they're a good person or have good hearts. I've learned over the course of my years that it seemed like people that always had more than me, people that I actually looked up to, actually looked to as inspiration, were very nasty, very cold-hearted. And a lot of the times when you don't have much in life or you're not where you need to be, people look down on you. People say some of the most hurtful things about you. People tear you down. People will speak word curses over you, such as you will never amount to anything or you will never accomplish anything. And I'm here to tell you that none of that is true. I realized that none of that really mattered. What mattered is God gave me life. God blessed me to continue to breathe every day, continue to wake up to learn something new. I had a roof over my head and I had food on the table, and that's truly all that matters. We don't realize that sometimes putting people on a pedestal can set us back. And what I mean by that is mentally, we idolize the things that's here on earth. But as long as you're a good person, you have a good mindset, you have a good heart, that's all that truly matters. I learned that when people tear you down, when people belittle you, when people have some of the most nastiest things to say about you, that really depicts who they are as a person. So imagine someone having a mansion, millions of dollars in the bank, but they're cold-hearted, they're bitter. That really speaks volumes on the type of person that they are. But you know, something my mother used to always say is, one day, baby, the tables will turn. And I used to look at her sometimes because of the situations that we were going through, and all I could think about is, I hope they turn now. I want them to turn right away. But things don't work out that way. And when she used to say that, like I stated, I used to always look at her and I used to just wonder sometimes. But now I really know what she meant. What the meaning of the tables will turn is, no matter who you are or where you are in life, know that you will not always be in that position. I couldn't see it back then because, like I say, when we were in a certain situation, all we can see is the negative. All we can see is the lack. All we can see is what we don't have and what we want. But God shall deliver. You know, there's a verse in the 23rd Psalms that says, God will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. And I used to always read that as a child. That was my favorite verse. I could read it front and back, backwards. I could reiterate it basically with my eyes closed, because it's something about that verse that just always drew me to it as a child. But that verse that states that God will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies, just to kind of correlate it to my life, I didn't have much. As a teenager, I didn't care about anything. I hated school. I didn't really take life seriously, nor did I ever really put my best foot forward. Now, I always knew that I was destined to live an abundant life because I could always envision it. I can always imagine it. And it's just something that my heart yearned for. But when you come up in situations where there's drug addiction, where there's verbal abuse, emotional abuse, regardless of what your heart yearns for, sometimes reality takes precedence over everything that you believe in. And like I say, I never really took life serious, never put my best foot forward. And people in my family would say some of the most hurtful and nastiest things about me. Said I wouldn't graduate high school, said I wouldn't amount to anything, said I wouldn't accomplish anything. Well, I'm here to tell you that God prepared a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Everything that people spoke over me, said about me, God has blessed me to surpass everything that people thought I could do. God has blessed me with more than I would have ever imagined. We don't realize that regardless of what we don't have in the current moment, that doesn't mean that God doesn't have more for us in the future. Remember, I always say that God has abundance destined for us. I'm not sure who's watching this video, but God has abundance destined for you. You will be prosperous. You will be successful. You're looking at what's in the current moment. That's nothing compared to what God is going to bless you with in your lifetime. When I say that every negative thing that was spoken about me over my life, God has blessed me to accomplish that and much more. And know that when people speak ill of you, God will position you to the point where they will have to eat every negative word that they've said about you. God will leave people's mouths wide open. So that's why we can't really worry about what people say about us, how people treat us, because one day we will be at the head of the table. No matter how low you feel or how little you may feel compared to other people around you, know that if it's in God's will, there's certainly a way. If it is in God's will, you will be where you are destined to be. So I just wanted to come on and just share that message because that verse, something about that verse just always drew me to it. And as I say, I started reading that verse as a little child, not realizing the course of my life, how it would shift, how that verse specifically correlated to my story. As I've stated, no matter where you are currently, know that God has so much more for you. And everything that people spoke over your life, everything that people said about you, they will have to eat every negative word that they have ever spoken against you. And God will see to it. You know, God says vengeance is his. And a lot of the times when we're going through certain situations, we're so hurt. We carry that hurt, that pain, that trauma that was inflicted on us throughout the course of our lives. But know that there's no need for revenge. There's no need to prove yourself to anyone. There's no need for any get back because God will deliver. He has so much in store for you. I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but he has so much in store for you. And I can personally testify that the tables will turn. As my mother used to always state, God bless her soul, the tables have turned. Not 180, but 360. The tables have turned. It is my turn now. It is your turn now. No matter how much people put you down, God will bless you. God will uplift you. And I just wanted to tell you that this morning, this evening, this afternoon, wherever you may be in this world. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Whitney, also known as Wisdom Wit. If you enjoyed this content, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below on how God did a 360 for you. Because if you haven't experienced it yet, it's certainly to come. So get ready for the ride because there is something so great in store for you. God will leave your mouth, your enemies' mouths, wide open. be prepared because it's coming. God bless. Thank you so much for watching.